years old. The Isle La Crosse Residential School is one of the oldest schools in Canada. So when you think about that and you put it into context, over 100 years and 6 to 7 generations of harm in that school. And it didn't just affect Isle La Crosse. You look to our communities in Northwest Saskatchewan and you see the harm. You see the suicides. You see the abuse of drugs and alcohol.
I love the way that the filmmakers used this film strip special effect. I thought that that was really, really neat. How they set up the premise of what was going on and the way that they gave us the history of what happened. Subject matter of this film was really, really hard to sit through. It was very dehumanizing, and you just can't help but feel empathy for the people. The interviews were great, getting a chance to listen to them talk. Fantastic addition with the music.
In a short amount of time, it takes us right in there. It tells us the story of this community. And I think most importantly, at least for me, informs me that not all schools were being recognized. I kind of honestly took it for granted that, any school, any of these residential schools, any and all of them were being recognized and survivors compensated. I just completely took that for granted. So this short piece does a great job at, I think, just opening eyes to the fact that not everyone is seeing justice in this country with regards to that whole residential school issue. So it's great that this piece exists just to spread more awareness, and I hope it gets around and does that. And I hope the people of Isle La Crosse do get their justice.
It really helped to hammer home the importance of these reparations and bringing justice for these survivors, these Métis survivors, and how crucial it is that they get those reparations now and not later, because so many of them are in their 80s, 90s. The youngest are in their 50s. So for them to get justice while they're still living is crucial. And this film really helped to hammer home the importance of that. I enjoyed the old footage, mostly old photographs that they showed, and all of the interviews with the Métis people, the Métis survivors. One of the most powerful parts of this film, I thought, was at the end when we saw the names of all the survivors that shared their stories. I thought that was really cool. Just hearing about how they were dehumanized and given numbers instead of names, stripped of their culture, parents stripped of their children, children stripped of their parents. One of the survivors, being brought to tears because he was just simply remembering what he went through and how he didn't receive any sort of love or affection for 10 months out of the year. But yeah, I think hearing from these survivors really helped to raise awareness and hammer home the importance of this justice. And also hearing their response to the apology and how a lot of the abuse, especially the sexual abuse, was not even acknowledged in the apology, and how they deserve so much more than that. So much more justice in the simple apology like that glosses over some of the worst of the atrocities. But yeah, I think that this film did a great job of showing us what really happened and giving us the stories of survivors firsthand.
An eye-opening short documentary tackling the very real issues surrounding child violence and abuse. The documentary shines light on how the kids were treated and provides a very clear indication of how their lives were treated, let's say that. The short documentary was fascinating and heartbreaking at the same time, hearing the victims' stories, and there's just hope that one day that the victims will actually find their justice in this world.
Everything that put together in this documentary is very important and necessary, because we know the rate of violence and abuse in domestic spaces like home or school is increasing, and this one just kind of pointing out in the school setting people who got involved in the interview footages are the one who survived like the abuse, the violence, or the one who been in the town in Canada for years and they witnessed like the mistreatment of this such topic like in the town. So I feel like it's pretty like specific, it's particular, but at the same time it's universal in its message.